I don't have my headphones on.
Good morning. Hello. Hello, kind people.
Good morning.
Check.
Why isn't that one working?
I'm not sure.
Check.
That's Instagram.
Instagram.
What's up, Facebook? Okay, now we're live. Good morning.
Check. Good morning. Okay. Check.
All
I
right.
think we can rock and roll.
We definitely can.
All
That's
right.
what I do best.
Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage Radio. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
What's up, my friends? My name is Seth Dudley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Welcome. Happy Monday morning to you. This is AOM Radio, where we do 4 things every single time. And those 4 things are, we call them our pigs, right?
That's right.
We do a prayer, we do an intention, we do a gratitude. And this helps to strengthen your marriage. It puts you in a good mindset for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we just find it to be better.
Yeah.
Intention is always better. So why don't you pray this morning?
Well, before I pray, I'm going to tell you that today's show, as always, is brought to you by the Anatomy of Marriage app. We created this couples counseling app that's fast, fun, and never boring because we wanted it, so we made it. So go to anatomyofmarriage.com to get the Anatomy of Marriage couples counseling app. You won't regret it. It's super cheap.
That's right. What's up, Kayla? Hope you're doing good.
Good morning. And so we are going to jump in with prayer, intention, gratitude, and so on.
And then we'll get to the question today. I sure will. Thank you, God, Creator, for your blessings. Thank you for all that you have given us. Thank you for the sun and the trees and the air and the ability that we have to enjoy outdoors. I pray that you reveal yourselves to us in all ways, God. I pray that this show is helpful to those listening, and I pray that the show is helpful to us. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. That sounds scary. God revealing himself to you. It sounds like
I say God revealing.
It just sounds scary. Anyway, what are your intentions for the day?
My intention today is to kick a double hockey sticks. That's all.
Kick all.
Yeah. To
kick butt.
Yeah, to kick butt today. So me and Melanie are doing a personal challenge, and we're calling it the AOM 30, and we'll make it go live for you guys.
You can join us once we've perfected it.
Yeah, but we are doing a trial run of AOM 30 right now, which includes a lot of stuff. Obviously, fitness, health, wellness, money, and stuff to continue to build AOM up and grow this as a business because we love it. So that is my intention today.
I love that so intentions are really about relationships, and
Yes.
you never get this right.
I never get it right.
So your intention maybe should be to set timers to maybe talk to me or hug me or kiss
Are you
me.
sassing me right now?
No.
All right.
So maybe that should be in your intention. Why don't you say that?
I will set intentions to timers.
Yeah.
Timer intentions to touch you and check in with you.
That's a good idea. My intention is to bring energy that is good and to think about that today. I thought about it a lot because I just, like our dog, Doug, we talk about this. Doug brings the best energy to any space. Everybody loves our dog. And I want to be able to bring that joyful, loving energy to everything that we do and to our relationship. But I can't because you don't even know what the word intention means. And we've done it 100,000 times on our show. Anyway,
we're going there this
good morning,
That's
Ro.
Good. What's up, Ro McKenzie? What's up, Aaron? What's up, Josh? Okay, what is gratitude?
I am thankful that yesterday you did a ton of yard work and stuff. And I started the biggest fire ever in the grass, like in a good way, not a bad way. And you came out immediately and helped. And I just really like that. Like it felt really good. And like you're really consistent. You're consistent at being good as a father and a husband. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I try to be. You're consistent with being
a queen.
Well, yeah, that too. But I do appreciate your consistency in your kind of steadfastness. You know, sometimes you are too much like your dad, and you don't like,
a pod.
Yeah, and that gets annoying sometimes. But I am thankful that you're fun, you're graceful, and I really like it when you dance too. Like you were dancing when we ate supper yesterday in the kitchen, and that was sweet. So on to the question.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, that got really loud in my microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, here is our question. And if you have a question for our show, you can send it in to hello@anatomyofmarriage.com, or you can go to our app in the Anatomy of Marriage app, ask it in the expert Q&A, or you can ask it on our website. There's 1,000 ways to ask us questions. So it says, question, my husband is happy with how our marriage is, but I am struggling. We don't talk about our money, our marriage, or our sex life. It's off limits. If I bring it up, he shuts down like I'm attacking his manhood. I do all the budgeting. He likes spontaneous sex. I can't seem to get turned on when I don't have a little time to get in the mood. He's not forceful, but he refuses to talk to me and build a connection. I just wish we had a better emotional and mental connection. How can I talk with him about how can I talk to him without him being defensive?
Okay, so this one is easy. How can I talk to him without being defensive? And I'm not putting it all on you, but obviously he's just thinking everything's fine, right? You know, he's in 5th gear cruising where you're in 1st gear going, I need more to be able to go to 2nd and 3rd kind of thing, right? So talk to him in a very non-confrontational way. The use of I statements, the use of the clearing structure here is huge, right? And I've told you this forever. You have been not good at, well, I even told you this yesterday, like with the kids and stuff. Sometimes when you say things, the only response to the other of the other person is to defend themselves
You
back.
mean
right?
sometimes when I say things in a particular way.
Right.
Like if I
only
told the kids, you're not sweeping right. Or, right, like something like that, where they're like, well, now I have to defend what I thought I was doing.
What do you mean I'm not? I think I'm doing it right? So it's all in you. It's literally all in how you phrase your sentences, your paragraphs, and how you deliver it too, right? It's like criticism only will receive criticism back, right? If you put somebody in that position, they're going to fight, flight, or freeze, and your husband gets defensive, right? So I would honestly ask yourself, how am I talking to my husband? Because sometimes these little keys can be unlocked with just the simplest of things. Like if you create a way to talk to your husband in a new different way using the clearing structure, then maybe what you want is just right there, but you've never known how to talk to him before, right? And maybe you can give examples of the way that you've talked to me before. If you tweaked it a little bit, you get the answer you're looking for, you get the response you're looking for, and it's all because how you say it, right? It's all about you. We can't use criticism. We can't use words like never and always because people are always never doing something, and they're always never not. Wait a minute, I'm confusing myself.
Right.
There's always a time when the problem is not a problem. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, that also sounded weird, but
we call those exceptions.
Let me say something though. I want to be very clear. You are making it sound like it's her fault. And I don't like that vibe whatsoever. Right. So I will say that, yes, communication and the way we communicate is really important because, let's see, I can't read that yet. There's a comment, I can't read it yet. Okay. The way we communicate is vital because what happens is if I tell you, you can't, you don't talk about this, you blah, 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 blah. You can't, do a don't, right? So if I just say to you, you never do this, you never do that. You can't do a never. You can't do a don't. You can't do a won't. But you can do a what I would like is more of this. And so instead of, because what happens when you come at your partner and you say, you never talk about finances, they will immediately think of the 2 times that they did. Right. They'll go, well, I remember that time in July of 1907 when I talked about finances. And that puts them in the position. Yeah, to be defensive. Literally by the way that you said it, right? Yes. By the way that you asked it. Now for the husband. No, I wasn't done. Okay. So I think that that's really important to understand that when you are coming to your partner and you're saying a don't, you are not going to get the response that you want. So let's start figuring out how to say a do, right? There's a hair on my mouth. Like I would love to sit and talk about blah, blah, blah. But let me say this. This guy, Obs, has a hard time with this kind of thing. Right. So start there. Go, he struggles with this. What's the point in beating a dead horse and being like, stop struggling with this? Right. That's not going to make him stop struggling. But you can invite a new way of talking about these things that is not threatening. And you wouldn't say like, I noticed that you struggle with emotional connection. Right. Let's work on that. You don't need to overtly say the thing you're seeing. Right. You need to invite a new way of being. And the perfect way to do that is the Anatomy of Marriage app. So we have literally hundreds of conversation starters about all different things. One of the categories specifically, actually, let's just do this because it's already up on my phone. It's already up. It says, use the clearing structure for the first time a few days ago and mind blown. Yay! All caps. It really is effective. The clearing structure is in the Anatomy of Marriage app. That is awesome. It is. Thank you for that. I espouse the efficacy of the clearing structure all day. Yes, no, I'm so glad that you did it because the clearing structure is phenomenal, and we have it on a pillow. If you want to buy a pillow at anatomyofmarriage.com, it has a clearing structure. So if you're fighting, just grab the pillow. I'm so glad that you got that. So in our app, again, Anatomy of Marriage app, it's a couples counseling app that's fast, fun, and never boring. There are hundreds of conversation starters. One of the categories of conversation starters, meaning there are many, many, many questions about intimacy, not just sex, but intimacy. So
Emotional
yes. So you're saying, I wish I had a better, deeper connection with my husband. Saying that to him will never foster a better, deeper connection. Saying, I wish you talked to me more is not going to be like, oh, because yeah, I should talk to her more.
What's the thing right below that? I don't talk enough.
You don't talk enough.
She's not happy.
Right. So you get the app. You download the free version of the app. I think all the questions are in the free version. Who knows? Not me. And you go into, if you want to talk about intimacy, you go to the intimacy section. I'm just going to read some of the questions. Are there?
Supposed to save those for later.
We're going to do them again. So are there any non-sexual things that I do that turn you on? Ask that to your husband. Get him talking about you in a way that's fun. And he'll be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's another one. Are you ready? Cover your children's ears. Describe a sexual fantasy or adventure you'd like to do with me sometime. That's not scary to talk about when it's just you and your partner. Here's another one. How have I made you feel really good during lovemaking? Ask that to your partner. That'll elicit some conversation. Maybe a little kissy. All I can think of is a little slappy, make daddy happy. And that sounds really weird out of context. It's from the movie Trolls.
It does.
He's talking about a high five.
Right. So, okay, now on to the husband. I agree with what you're saying about
if we could have sex in any location, where would it be and why?
Anyway.
Talk about these things. I hope someone's at work going, oh my gosh.
Mute. Record scratch. For the husband, I would say, and if you are a dude listening to the show right now and you can identify as the husband, I'm going to say, all right, drop it. Get real and drop it.
Get real.
If you can't give your wife the time to attune to her emotional needs, and in this one, her physical needs too, like being turned on and such, then you need to take an inventory of like, what are you doing? You know, what's going on?
I don't think that's fair to say.
I do. You're not a guy.
That is assuming every guy is like you and knows like that they have this problem.
I'm not saying so. Maybe this guy isn't as self-aware, or his wife hasn't told him this kind of thing. What are you looking at? This kind of thing. And I would say, hey, be a little less rigid and more flexible in this, because it does sound like there's some rigidity, and it sounds like, I mean, she's talking about he likes spontaneous sex, but he doesn't do much to, foster that, and it's not enjoyable for her.
Right, yeah, hold on. Record scratch right there. He is not like the ruler of the roost or whatever. Like his way is not what always needs to be happening. And so I think even if you simply said, to have a more fair marriage, let's say every other time we have sex the way that the other partner prefers. Meaning on Fridays, it's low and slow all day long. If you're right, like if you want to get my juices flowing, you got to turn the oven on. Fridays. Right? Like, yeah, crock pot Fridays. So you because that is really unfair. Saying, well, I only like this, so we're only going to do it my way. I like spontaneous sex. I don't want to talk about it. That is very, very unfair. And if you are a partner doing this to your spouse, imagine if the tables were turned and every time that you had sex, you had to do it their way. I want you to literally just think about that, because it isn't fair, right? And that so have that conversation. Someone says,
I'm telling him to get real.
Get real. What is that even from?
I don't know.
My husband and I have been there. The only way I felt to get his the only way I felt I could get his attention was to blow up on him. Over time, he started listening, but I already had the habit of being too aggressive in communication. That is so important, because
that's right.
We had that same thing where I would try to tell Seth, I would try to tell him, he wouldn't listen. I try to say it, I would try to say it, and then if I shouted at his face, he would finally listen. Right.
So that's a common,
terrible pattern.
Well, it's a terrible pattern, but it's a common dynamic with couples. And chances were, and if I look back and kind of review that history, you were doing a terrible job of saying what you wanted.
I was
you were
most likely telling you don't.
You were putting me on the defense, right? And then I was doing a terrible job of actually listening and being attuned. So we both were at fault there. So It's like what wheel gets the grease?
Squeaky one.
The loudest squeaky one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, I've talked about this before in a therapy theory called transactional analysis.
Mm-hmm.
We desire strokes like attention,
right?
And if we don't get that positive attention that we actually need, then we will do things negatively. We will, be super clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, kind of like subconsciously,
mm-hmm.
We will yell and be like, "Hey, look at me!" And then that's a pattern that, when I yell, when I have some sort of like physical ailment or
mm-hmm.
something, I get taken care of. When I get hurt, I get taken care of. When I yell and scream and cry, he finally listens.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all want positive strokes, but we will do negative strokes to get those to get that attention. If that makes sense. And this is what this lady is saying. And hopefully, hey, Rogue Kayla, hopefully you have identified that. Like, oh yeah, when I yell, what am I really wanting in that? I'm wanting attention. And now we're at a point in our relationship where I don't have to yell. Right. I can just say it by using I statements, by using things like the clearing structure and the Anatomy of Marriage app to get that communication out on a I don't know, more healthy way.
Another thing that is helpful is asking yourself, what does my partner want? So if your partner is coming to you and they're saying, you don't this, you don't that, you never this, I was mad because you this. And then you just ask yourself, like in your own mind, say, what do they want? Mm-hmm. What are they wanting? Like they're unhappy with something. What do they want? If they're not telling you like, I wanted you to be home an hour early, or go behind even that, I wanted to feel supported.
So yesterday, right? I was trying to do AOM work and stuff, right? And the kids were just being loud and stuff. And I think you were asking me a million questions and there was music playing. You were. Asking you a million questions. You were. And I was like, this is too much for a minute, right? Like, because it had been going on for like, I don't know, all day basically. And I said, oh, this is too much. I got to either go outside and do this computer work, right? And what I wanted from you there is literally just, oh yeah, I know. That's crazy. I'm sorry. But you literally did zero for my feelings. You took a big dump on my feelings, on what I was bringing to you, and then made fun of it. And I was like, that really rubbed me the wrong way, right? Not because I'm just high maintenance or anything, but I literally said something of my feelings, and you were just like that. I was like, that's weird. Well, and so what did I really want? I feel that you probably don't completely understand this even now. And what I wanted from you is like just some, not some like to commiserate with me or anything, just to be seen and heard, because we all like to be seen and heard. But instead, you did anti of that and then made fun of me for wanting that, right? Which is what happens.
How did I make fun of you? I want to explore that because I never said anything about it.
No, you did. You did. Yesterday, you said, like, I said my feelings and you're like, oh, yeah, now you know how I feel, huh? Or something like that.
How did that make fun of you?
No. That was the first thing, which didn't listen to my feelings, didn't acknowledge my feelings. It wasn't, you didn't see me, you didn't hear me, you didn't acknowledge me. You only went straight back to you and your feelings and how you felt. And I think in that you wanted sympathy from me of like, oh, yeah, I know the kids are bugging all day, right? Does this make sense? And then after that, I said, hey, that kind of hurt my feelings. And you were like, you literally said something like, what? Get real, get over it. And I was like, what just happened now? Maybe you were stressed out too or something?
So here's, I don't know what it was. Here's what I find so unbelievably amazing is that even now, you're like, Melanie, you don't understand it. And I'm like, it was in the nature of the conversation. It's like we were on two planets that were not even close to orbiting one another. Like your comment was, oh, this is too much. And I went, oh yeah? As a joke. And then you got mad at me. And I was like, it's not a big deal. And then you're like, you made fun of me. So see what I'm saying? Like, I did not say anything negative about you ever yesterday. That's what I don't understand is when I said, no, hold on. When I said, oh yeah, this is the nature in which I said that. It was a joke to make you go to say like this. I have to do this every single day. It's crazy, blah, blah, like a joke, not, oh yeah, I have to do this every day and you can't even handle it for 90 minutes. It wasn't in that nature. It was literally like, I'm putting on a comedy skit right now. Oh yeah, you think that's hard? Watch this. That was the nature of how I said it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got mad at me. And I tried to come back and say, no, seriously, this is a joke. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said, I made fun of you. That's what, and I'm not.
Well, maybe not made fun, but dismissed what I was saying. And it's really difficult because.
Okay, here's a perfect example. Imagine Logan Kale. We have a friend who does comedy. Or Dustin Nickerson.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a comedian friend of ours. Or Kev on stage. Imagine someone sitting there and they make a joke about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person sitting there gets all upset because the comedian made a joke about it.
Right.
And then the comedian does another dismissive joke, like, never mind.
You're not a comedian, and I didn't buy tickets to a comedy show.
But
does that make sense?
I know, but why does my world have to be sucked into that negative one? Why do I have to hear me though? I don't understand how I can't
this is no good. I'm not happy right now.
Why?
My wife has had the same situation recently where she felt like I couldn't do a few simple things. She says she does so much more, and welcome to my life, which she does, and I understand she does a lot, but I feel like we have different roles. Yeah, I think like what Melanie wanted there was like, yeah, welcome to my life. Kind of thing.
I didn't. I literally said it to be funny. Like, oh yeah, you think that's hard? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be something serious and real?
Because sometimes, here's literally what you do. And I've always said this, you dish stuff out, but when it's returned, you absolutely cannot take it. And that is a very family Borges thing.
You've never once in your life gone, oh yeah?
Hold on. Nope. Like when you wrestle and stuff like that, and of course I'm stronger, so that's whatever. Like we wrestle and then like I squeeze you or something like that, and then you're like, ah, and you dish it, right? You can come up and sucker punch, but absolutely you can't take it, right? And emotionally, I have truly found that you act in very certain ways of family of origin, right? When you know that I am unhappy with something and I don't hold it in, so I go against everything that's like being really loud in my voice, like keep the peace, don't say anything, dismiss it, you'll get over it, Seth, right? That's my whole process. So when I say something, I have gone through that algorithm, and it's not an easy algorithm, right? I'm working on it, so it will become easier. And it's like, okay, I'm stepping out, right? And when it is met with the comedy routine, parentheses, that you think that you're doing, and with just how you were yesterday, that is like, okay. I mean, we've said this before. I've said it before. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just kept the peace. I should have went on, right? But that is not the right way to function in a world, because that builds resentment, that builds up animosity, because if I'm holding on to everything, but when I truly share something that's like, hey, that kind of made me upset. Honest to God, you can't do well with it. You don't do well with it. And in like yesterday, we were sitting on the couch and you were like, and I told you all these things and you said, I don't know what to do. I was like, maybe just apologize. Like it kind of hurt my feelings. And you still didn't know what to do. I was like, apologize. And you didn't know what to do. And
I apologized.
And you kind of shut down. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't shut down. I just did other things. And
you did shut down.
Normally.
I think, Seth, you were feeling that Melanie is not validating and listening to you about how it made you feel. That is exactly right. Well, but she doesn't understand that.
No, hey, that's not fair.
No,
so what would you have wanted me to do?
I can only say words how I say them, not a robot. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, I have trouble with tone, or that's what I'm told. Hard to control tone.
So that's another thing.
Yeah, tone is something that we can learn to control.
But it's, hey, let me comment on that. It's so when you said, I want you to apologize or whatever, I literally had said I was sorry, but then it was like I needed to do something more to make you feel validated. Hold on. But in my perspective, I'm like, I'm acting now. I'm just pretending now, because what I did was not out of malice. I already apologized, but you're still mad.
Mm-hmm.
And so the two things I want to ask. The first one is, what did you want me to have done?
Mm-hmm.
Reenact that scenario. You say, it's annoying. Kids are annoying. What happens next in your ideal world?
To be heard.
What does that actually look like?
That means to actually be heard, not you going directly to what.
No. What do I say and do that makes you feel heard?
Oh man, I know, right? Just a fairly simple. What is it called? It's a communication dynamic. Like when the phone rings,
call and respond.
Like when the phone rings, you pick it up. If it's not ringing, you don't pick it up, right? So like when somebody says something in a bid for connection, like Dr. John Gottman's work or something like that, the usual appropriate response is like, "Oh yeah, right. Tell me about that." Or yeah, what do you mean? What are you talking about? It's like this. If the phone rings, somebody's on the other end trying to reach you. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's something. You don't go, ring, ring, hello, delete, right? You don't do that. The other person be like, whoa, what?
But here's the thing, like,
what happened, right?
We've done that to each other to be funny 1,000 times.
Hung up on each other?
Done silly things like that.
Right.
Pretending something, like answer the phone like your dad. Hello. Like we've done that kind of thing all the time where it's like, This is what I'm gathering. Like if I could go 30,000 feet up, it's like we were on two very different emotional planes. I am not saying your emotional plane was wrong. You are saying mine was. I was trying to be funny and lighthearted about something. Like it's really annoying to be home with the kids all day long. I have to deal with that every day of the week, no breaks, Monday through Monday. Like it never ends. And when you complain about the kids like that, or say that it's really hard, instead of me getting mad at you, which is what I want to do, and be like, you've been inside for 9 seconds and now you're complaining. I do this all day long. Instead, I was like, oh yeah, like to be funny, right? Because I didn't, and this is kind of what I'm getting at, is that sometimes there's an emotional energy that you bring that's like, this has to be serious. You've got to listen to me. You have to affirm my feelings. And I feel like that's a vortex of sadness sometimes. Like, our middle kid does that. Oh yeah, well I feel bad right now. You should. And if you don't feel bad,
well, that might be kind of a culmination of not feeling recognized. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying that is why you do that.
Either with our kids or that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we can get in the groove of just like work, and like ignore each other often. And so. I think that's maybe what it was, but hold on. Somebody says, perhaps the right thing to do, Seth, would be able to say, Mel, I'm being serious here. I want to share something. Oh, come on.
Why isn't it opening? Open.
Something I'm feeling.
It's like Seinfeld. Open.
Can you be here for me? Yeah, something. I mean, that sometimes I understand what you're saying, but that wasn't, it was less spontaneous than that.
What?
I mean, it was more spontaneous than that. It wasn't like I was thinking about it and like, okay, the kids are annoying. I'm kind of feeling like maxed out here. Just like in my own ears, I was just like maxed out. I was like, I'm trying to think of this other stuff, but all these other sounds are happening. And it was almost like a sensory overload.
It's like going into a casino. Our children are as loud as a casino.
Yeah, it was like a casino kind of thing. So I wasn't going to go through that whole, like, it wasn't that formal, I guess. But I think that's
a really great point.
The part that annoyed me the most was not that you like made a joke. It's like not like, yeah, sure, we can be funny and stuff like that. But it was your style of defense after that. Like you literally still were not listening to me like 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes after that. I'm like, I really felt that way, and that kind of hurt my feelings. And you literally said it's not a big deal, and I was like, that was the most non-helpful thing you could say, right? And so right after that takes me a minute to recover from that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said something, I was annoyed to begin with, then I said something, and then you didn't listen, and then you didn't do anything except dismiss it, right? So I felt very dismissed. And then after that, I said, hey, this is real. Then you said, it's not a big deal. And I was like, okay. So my style then is like, I'm going outside. I don't need you right now kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so that really is a big deal that I would like for you to understand. It would be helpful for you to understand. But I know that's something. Says Mel, how about working on being an empathetic to Seth's statement? A rub on the back, ask open-ended questions. Oh, wait a minute.
And please don't get mad at Seth for sharing.
It just makes us want to go into a cave and not share anymore. Yeah, exactly. We know you have feelings about your experience, but when we are sharing as men, we are trying to open up about our experience. Be with us. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like the bid for connection kind of thing. It's like literally, I said something. I didn't say it so you could dismiss it and tell me how you felt. That's
Right.
not what a bid is. A bid is like, hey, I have an emotional need. I'm going to share that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share that, and then we can have a conversation about it. Not, I have an emotional need. I share it, shut down, and say, hey, it's no big deal. I'm like, what? That just pisses me off. And it's not the right way to do things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what you're thinking, but I know you're thinking something.
Sorry, I thought you were going to talk. Are you going to read?
There's one more. Maybe your wife's way of coping with the stressful situation. Yeah, that's a good.
That's what I was just thinking. Is that? Are you still reading? Is that? So I think of this. There's been many times in my life where I've been sick and in the hospital, and most people come into a hospital, you're sick, you have had surgery, you don't feel well, you're whatever. But one of the things I love about myself is that I can joke about it. Because pain is pain, you're going to have it no matter what. Why would I make it worse by being all mopey and sad, right? I don't want to add an energy layer to something that already sucks, but sucks, but. And so yesterday, when the kids were all crazy, they do that all the time. It's actually not bad that they're loud and crazy like that. I think it's actually good because they're fun and whatever. I deal with it all the time. And the way that I deal with it without bringing a negative energy back in is being silly about it. So when you said,
there's a difference between silly and sarcastic. I think that you
hold on for
1
second. So I think sarcasm is silly. And here's the thing, is I feel like you're judging and honestly thinking, like judging and saying, I need to be how you are if I want to be right. And that's what this whole thing gets so confusing to me, where I'm not telling you, Seth, you need to respond like I need to respond to things. You're wrong. I'm just saying we totally missed the mark in that conversation yesterday, but I don't judge you.
So where did I miss the mark by saying my feelings? That's the thing I'm disagreeing with.
We missed the mark of each other. I don't mean you did the wrong thing. I mean, we missed the mark of each other.
I still kind of disagree with that. Like, you missed the mark. I didn't miss it. I missed your mark. I shared. So it wasn't we missed the mark. You missed the mark. I shared a feeling, something, and then you missed the mark. And I said, hey, that kind of hurt my feelings. Or, hey, that was what, but you're conflating that and saying, you aren't going to respond exactly how I want to. I'm like, it's not about responding. I'm just like, it hurt my feelings. And then when I said that, you said, hey, it's no big deal. And I'm like, ooh. So you literally missed the mark twice, if not 3 times. I'm not sure what mark I missed because I only shared my feelings, right? I was like, sensory overload. Things are loud. I shared it. And then, okay, is there a mark? There is no... When you share your feelings, there's no mark that you're aiming for. It's a feeling that you're sharing, right? And I didn't say, this is crazy, everything sucks, the kids should go away. I'm like, ooh, sensory overload going on right here. Ugh. And I shared it, right? So there's no mark for me to hit, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I don't think you understand it. Or do you?
I understand it differently.
Right.
And I think that's where, why... Every time I talk,
here,
you
brother.
turn
Don't
and
let ego
face away from me.
Thank you, Bill. That is really that's really good. Physical touch is an amazing way to show someone I hear you. I understand. Yes, that's a good one as well. Stay here, brother. Don't let ego take you. Okay. Thank you.
So again, I'm going to use an analogy. It was in Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. He talked about the energy that he sees in nature. He used this example of seeing ducks fighting on a pond. And he said one duck encroached on the other duck's territory. They fought for a second, and then they went away from each other. And then they do that flappy thing, like they flap their arms and whatever. And he's like, they're releasing the energy that conflict brought temporarily to them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think, and I please don't interrupt, because I feel like every time I try to do a thing, you cut me off and then say what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So what I am saying is, I was trying to diffuse an energy. You had a whole internal process that I was unaware of. You were wanting to share an emotion, and that is hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
It is not hard for me to share an emotion, so I won't naturally see Seth has worked very hard to share an emotion. I'm like, I share emotions all the time. Like it's glitter I'm throwing around. I don't care.
Right.
And I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care about, if I say this thing is something I value and you say you don't, I'll be like, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't care. I don't put a lot of weight on the emotional things I throw around for good or bad or whatever. I'm very indifferent to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. That's fine. I never ever said, you can't say the kids are being loud. I never said that. I think you felt that my flippant response was like, your emotions are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're bad. You're dumb. I never ever said that. I was trying to take that duck energy and lift it somewhere else by being silly about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when you come home from work sometimes and you're just in this totally silly zone,
mm-hmm.
and you have no idea what our day has been like, if I'm sad or mad or whatever, or crying, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You just come in the door and dance around and be silly,
mm-hmm.
right? We go and then meet your energy there. If we don't meet your energy, you'll feel stupid, right?
No, I don't feel stupid. I'm just like, oh, okay, well,
you wouldn't like it. Like you come in with an energy that's fun.
no, that's happened a million times, and it's just like I will have that positive energy no matter what.
That's what I felt like I was doing.
Right.
I thought I was coming into the house like you come home from work sometimes,
mm-hmm.
going, oh yeah.
But here's the difference.
Listen, stop cutting me off you keep cutting me off every
mm-hmm.
time. So I want you to hear, this was not right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When I said we missed the mark, I meant if this is two like sides of a thing communicating to each other, we missed our connection mark, not you shot the wrong direction and I aimed the wrong way. I mean,
mm-hmm.
when we tried to communicate together, we missed our mark with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I'm trying to get at. That happens. It's okay. It
mm-hmm.
doesn't need to now control the next 24 or 48 hours of our lives.
Right.
It's okay. It is an accident.
It can be okay if it, I think, is acknowledged and repaired, right? So here's the example. Like I can come in the house and be like all excited, right? And if your energy is not met with my energy, I'm not mad, I'm not weird. But here's the thing. If you said, hey, I'm not feeling this right now, I had a really bad day. The difference is I would not go, oh yeah, well, my day was way worse than yours, right? I would acknowledge your feelings.
That's not what I did. I mean, I was being silly. I went, oh yeah? I didn't go, oh yeah?
Right.
Like that's the hard part. This is where what I don't like about it is that there's somehow in this, you think I'm judging you. And that is something you're holding on to. You think that I am placing a judgment on you and you're like absorbing that judgment. I'm not. I literally made a joke and it was ill-timed. I apologized for it. You're still holding on to it. Mm-hmm. That's what I find so hard. When I said it doesn't matter, I did not mean your feelings don't matter.
Right.
That was the assumption you had, was I'm like, you don't matter. What you think doesn't matter. You're dumb. You're bad. I never, ever, ever, ever said that.
Right.
I was saying, we missed the mark of each other. It doesn't matter. Let's go on. That's what I was saying. But
mm-hmm.
what's crazy about it is that you're like, I invested all this emotional time into saying one sentence that my wife says 1,000 times a day. And my wife should attune to that and know it's very hard for me to say the sentence, it's too loud in here.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's all this emotional attachment to it. So that's where I'm very confused.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to I was trying to diffuse the energy that I could feel you having with a joke. It was not because I think you're dumb. It was not because I think you can't handle things. It was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even pointed or bad. All I said was, oh yeah? Literally, that's all I said. I think I said, oh yeah, I have to do this all day, every day. That didn't mean your experience is dumb. You're so lame and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I never said those things.
Didn't mean to talk about this on the whole thing. I've kind of just checked out, to be honest. So we can talk about it later. I still really disagree with what you're saying, and I don't feel heard or listened to on that. And it is kind of weird because we're talking about it with all of our friends, first of all. But I think there's a lot of
hold on one
there's
second.
a lot of comments here. Okay, let's see. I just think she responded lightly, and you missed that she wasn't intentionally trying to dismiss you. Yeah, that happens often, so it kind of was a thing for me. It didn't seem like the appropriate time to expect Melanie to emotionally meet your needs later. Maybe would be a better time. Let's see. I think Melanie may just need to say, I'm sorry, you misunderstood my silliness for not caring. I've decided when this happens to me again, I will start asking right away, what do you mean by that, in order for me not to misinterpret in a kind way. Let's see. Bill says, how about, wait a minute. How about it's not about who is right, it's about expressing what you want now, clearing structure. In the future, I would like you to. Yeah,
and that's actually what I was just going to say is now, and you already said, like, I asked you, what would you like me to have done?
Mm-hmm.
And you just saying, say, well, can you stop scrolling for a second?
Mm-hmm.
When I said, what would you like me to have done?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, just go, oh yeah, I get it. Like, yes. And not try to change what's going on. Just acknowledge the actual feeling that you have conveyed. And, okay, I get it now. Now I know what you are looking for in those moments. And I can be attuned to that and aware of it so that when you do share in the future, I will know what your response, what the response that feels the best to you is, right? Because I'm not only interested in what feels the best to me. So, but now I know. I didn't know that before.
Right.
So that to me feels like positive, but you seem really frustrated. So what I don't like is that you're going to leave for work and be frustrated at me later.
That's right.
So then do it the other way around.
Right. I like to remember that my response reaction is my responsibility. My emotional state affects my response in the moment. No offense, Seth, but it isn't your job as an adult to deal with sensory overload and remove yourself from the situation and not blame your response on her missing remark.
I think that's a pretty good one.
I still don't understand that because all I did was literally say, hey, I'm feeling this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and then you got mad that I wasn't in the same. I mean, it's
I didn't get mad.
It's exactly like our middle kid. He has a very strong emotional presence.
I'm losing my mind. And it's a hard habit to break it, but truly can be fault of both, even if it doesn't start out that way. But calmly, it becomes that way. I'm not sure what to say or do here.
Bill says growth, exclamation points. So,
yeah,
but here, stop scrolling and focus. So I told you, or you told me what you wanted next time this happens. Like, if you comment, I now know what I can do differently. I can say, oh, I get it. Yeah, it's hard. I can attune with you and align with your energy to make it feel validated to you. And that's great. What can you do?
I honestly wasn't listening.
If I make a joke that makes you feel bad, what can you do differently?
I can share what my feelings are, just like I did yesterday, right? And then maybe after you don't, if again I don't feel listened to or heard by you, I can say, hey, this was not something I was kind of joking about. I really kind of felt that way, you know.
Do you think you could do all of that without anger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And judgment?
I think so. I think yesterday was hard because I feel like I did all those things, and then after I did those things, you said it doesn't matter.
You did all of what things?
Shared my feelings.
Not without anger or judgment.
I wasn't like yelling or anything. I was like, well, wait. I was confused. Like, wait a minute. She wants me to like share my emotions and stuff. And I exactly did that, and then it was met with
saying it's loud in the house.
No.
Is maybe not what I meant when I meant share your emotions. But anyway, look at me.
Right.
I want you to stay centered. I also want you to read Gabby Bernstein's Judgment Detox.
Right.
I think it will help a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I like her work, and it's good.
GB.
Yeah.
But now we have 2 more tools of how to deal with this stuff in the future. And I wish right now that made you feel hopeful
Mm-hmm.
instead of annoyed and frustrated. And you literally are going to be mad at me all day if you stay in this zone.
Well, I feel annoyed and frustrated because it's like the same thing. I literally feel like I've said this a billion times before, and you dig your heels in and you don't change. I
can't change these things for you. And here's
no. I'm not asking you to change things for me. I'm like, oh, well.
Well, no one else is asking me to change these things.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I'm getting to. Joyce Meyer says, if you don't try to understand something, it can never confuse you.
Mm-hmm.
There is an acceptance element that's missing here.
Mm-hmm.
I accept that what you said, I misunderstood it.
Mm-hmm.
I accept your feelings of being overwhelmed by loud kids. I accept how you live like your car is not tidy the way I would clean it. Your stacks of things are different from how I would do it. I don't let those things make me have a different attitude toward you because I accept them. They are part of you.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the mark in our conversation by trying to be silly. You don't accept that. This entire argument is change that and I'll accept you.
Mm-hmm.
I can try.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried. I will probably almost always fail to know how to live how you want me to live. You probably would have a lot better time not trying to figure out why I'm so weird or don't get it or whatever. If you stop judging and started accepting, I'm just very different from you.
Mm-hmm.
How can we make those differences be good? Have like a interaction like water instead of like, okay, I'm going to build this dam and until you do this, I will not be happy. Because that's what I think is happening. And I don't know how to make that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I am not saying my actions are all good and fine and well and I will never change. You
Mm-hmm.
hear me saying,
Mm-hmm.
I will work to acknowledge what you need for a purpose and on purpose because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am not hearing is this, I will work to accept that sometimes when I say a joke or when I tell you my feelings, Melanie, you say a joke. I will work to accept that and
Right.
not be hurt by it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the judgment of she did that because she doesn't get it. She's not good. She's rude. She's selfish. She's whatever. She can't take what she dishes out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a judgment. And the judgment is what's making you feel angry.
Mm-hmm.
If you remove that, you'd have a whole different mindset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that are you listening or?
I'll look into reading that book today. What's up, Delano? Did Bill say something more?
There's a lot of comments.
No, we already read that. It's like you're resentful for how you feel about how it responds. How you feel is your responsibility. I'm married to a 9, and this is such a thing for us.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's really true.
Where did you read that? Oh,
Bill,
okay.
I feel that there's some resentment about something else that is bubbling over in this issue, Seth. Perhaps this isn't the first time. Yes, definitely not the first time. Mel, what do women want from their husband? Do you see us as less than when we share? Can we as husbands be both a man and have need? I always feel that the only person I can be vulnerable with is my wife, but she has the same problem meeting me when I need her.
Let me comment on that. Seth didn't state a need. He said, "Ooh, it's loud in here."
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Oh, yeah?" And so what I was trying to do, like you said, what do we see in their husbands? What I really wanted in that moment when I said, "Oh, yeah," was for you to go, "Oh, yeah?"
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted. I thought what would happen is we would both bounce above the energy plane of our crazy, annoying, loud kids and be like fun together. That is 100,000,000% what I thought would happen. I thought my little, "Oh, yeah," was going to be an inviting, fun, like, yeah, we're going to be crazy now. We're going to dance in the kitchen. It's going to be so fun.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I thought was happening. So that's where it's confusing to me is I don't want to look at our loud, crazy kids and be like, "Oh, barf, it's so annoying. They're so annoying." That's what I did for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actively working on not doing that. And that's what I thought was going to happen. But again, Seth didn't say a need. He didn't say, "Ooh, I need to go sit in that room because it's really quiet."
Mm-hmm.
He just went, "Oh, it's loud in here." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I could have attuned to that need and said, "Oh, he needs to go sit in that room because it's really quiet." But he didn't really say it. He just said it was loud.
Oh, wait a minute. So.
And I gladly, I mean, if it was like, if he had said it that way, I'd have been like, "Okay, go sit in that room." I mean.
Okay, it feels like you married to a 9, and this is such a thing for us. This is what she deals with 24/7. As a spouse, I would have laughed and said, "No, but honestly, this is tough. I don't know how you can deal with this on the daily," and maybe both of you could have connected. Should I accept my spouse if he is very angry, goes off the handle quickly, and cuss to me often and doesn't want to connect with me. I have a hard time accepting this, and when he's walked out on us. Well, yeah, I think that's not that's
no,
something
and
that's
there,
not
yeah,
acceptable.
there's accepting has boundaries,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
I have to have boundaries, especially when raising my baby girl, and I don't want her being around cursing and
Read
anger.
the book Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud.
Henry Cloud, yeah.
Boundaries. Read that. And that's really like pointed damaging. That is, I am doing this on purpose to harm you. That's not the same thing as just like understanding something differently.
Says the reason that the joke wasn't well received because there's a low trust point underlying that
joke
for Seth.
When there's a low trust,
words lose simple meaning. Yeah, I think that might be getting onto something like a low trust of like her actually understanding or I don't know.
Open this. What is the deal?
Get curious with this. Don't try to fix it yet. Look into what's going on in yourself in the moment to cause these feelings in the moment.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. So, yeah, you guys have been really helpful in your comments and stuff. Oh, there's another one. Seth, you're hurt and not ready to let it go. Emotional hurt is personal. I think Mel honestly didn't mean anything by it, but when you were in a sensitive moment, she's done what a wife does. She simply tried to be silly and cheer you up. It wasn't the wrong moment, but done out of love. Don't let holding onto the hurt blind you from her side of
That's a really
understanding.
great. I mean, that was what I was trying to do, was like connect and have fun. And so it became, and that's what's so weird is that now it's become this big, giant, dark cloud of sadness. And that was never my intention. My intention is, I always say this to you, I'm on your side.
Right.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike you. I don't think you're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
If you think I think you're dumb, that's not my fault.
Right. That would be my problem. But I don't think that.
If you think I don't attune to you because I don't do it the way you would do it, that's not my fault. I'm attuning to you the best way that I can. And I work on it every day.
Right.
And that's what's so hard for me, is that I feel like we should be able to have these conflicts, also a ton of joy surrounding the conflicts that we have, because we both know we're for each other. We both know we're on the same page. And I feel like that comment, like there's resentment there about you sharing anything emotionally. And I honestly don't think a lot of the resentment stems from me. I think you have a lot of like stopped up emotional stuff from your family that gets projected onto me.
Right.
Because I'm the closest thing to you now. And so when you feel like you can't express something emotionally, well, who's the closest one? She's looking right at me. It's her fault. And I'm like, I didn't mean to. I mean, it's like if our kid breaks something on accident, he didn't mean to do it. Don't get angry at him for breaking something. He did it on accident. Right? And there's a little bit of that.
That's a good way to put it. Maybe it was just an accident.
It was an accident. It wasn't.
Accident.
It was an accident that I didn't know to attune to you, but I was trying to lighten the mood. We've got crazy kids hollering up in their bedrooms,
right?
Pianos playing.
So here's the crux. So it was an accident. I accept that, right? I don't judge anybody or anything for it, right? It was an accident. That puts it in good perspective. However, if you do an accident, you know, if I break a wine glass on the thing that was yours or whatever, you go, oh, darn it, I'm sorry. Right? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where you have, I think that's the hang up that probably is the, not really, you know, the being sensory overload kind of thing. I think the hang up that I have is like when, if you did do an accident or something, most oftentimes, if I say, hey, my wine glass is broken, you say, well, yeah, you shouldn't have put it there. You know what I'm saying? And then you dismiss me being like a little bit frustrated that the wine glass broke, right? I'm not judging you for having an accident. I'm not mad at you because the wine glass isn't more important than the relationship, right? But what gets me is, hey, my wine glass, look, you know, you're like, you shouldn't have put it there. And you don't say, I'm sorry. And then you put the blame back on me, just like you did yesterday. Like, you dismissed my feelings initially. You made an accident, right? Which is fine. I have no judgment on that. And then when I said, hey, my wine glass, you said, hey, it's no big deal. And I'm like, wait a minute, that is not the right response. So that is what was more upset about. Does this make sense?
I hear
like go back to the wine glass thing. It's like,
I hear what you're saying.
If I broke your wine glass and
so the comment, that is not the right response, is enormously assumptive, presumptive. It assumes that there is one way to respond to.
Well, I'm not saying one way.
But
there are more right ways than wrong ways, right? Let's say does that make sense?
No, and so here's where I think we have completely different worldviews. Okay, so I mean, like literally, really different views on this, and this is where I think Bill said, or no, Brad said, don't solve this yet. Look at what is deeper, and that's what I would like to do. Focus over here for a second, because I don't think there is a right and wrong way to do almost anything. There's a way that promotes health and a way that promotes unhealthiness.
Right.
But right and wrong in this context is not helpful.
So when I said right and wrong, I actually meant promotes health and relationship, and or the opposite of that, there's not a healthy way to do it and doesn't promote relationship. Like somebody, let's see.
The fact
that you're being real right now is such a blessing to so many. I love it when you say, I am for you, always hold on to that. Good point about the accident example, Seth. There needs to be empathy for the broken wine glass, even if it's an accident. It's dismissive. And I think that is the very crux of what I'm feeling. Like you dropped my wine glass. It's broken. I kind of was like, this. And then I told you, this. And you said, it's no big deal. And I'm like, that is a way, there's no right or wrong way, as you said, but that is a way that does not promote relationship and does not, that's an unhealthy way to do it, right? And what I'm asking for is like, can you work on the healthy way to do it instead of dismissing it and even blaming me for like putting the wine glass there?
Right.
I'm like, I didn't put it there.
So here's what I want to do. I would love to read all the comments, but I know you need to leave at 8:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to do that. So what I want to do now is our intention from this conversation is that we set it down well. I'm not interested in you being angry at me today.
Right.
I'm not angry at you.
I'm not really interested in that.
I'm not angry at you. I'm not even frustrated at you. I wish I could make it make sense. I can't. No big deal to me. No big deal. It might be a big deal to you. I am not trying to be obstinate. I'm not against you. I'm not trying to be whatever, polarizing. I don't even know. I am trying to make sense of this. I am trying to connect more deeply. I am trying to help us have a more deeper relationship, right? That's my goal right now. So what I want to have happen is when we end the show now, you can go to work peacefully. The whole goal, even when you were talking about it's overwhelming and it's loud, my thing was I don't want to get stuck in this negative energy, whether that's the kids being loud or that's you and me not understanding one another well. We cannot understand one another well and still have a positive, trusting, and loving energy and vibe. That's what I'm after.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And so there are a million different ways, probably better ways, not right or wrong, but more healthy ways in like just to reframe. Like maybe you were thinking, I think of this very often too, like you bring some sort of like negativity to me. I'm like, I don't want that vibe, right? And I may respond with like, or just ignore you or whatever, because I don't want that vibe, right? And maybe you didn't want that vibe of like, oh, I'm kind of stressed out right now kind of thing. Instead of making light of it, which can be understood as dismissive, or especially understood clearly was dismissive after you said, hey, it's no deal, you could say, well, let's see, what does Gottman talk about? They talk about, okay, you can acknowledge that feeling and then kind of direct it in this way. Like it would have been, I don't know, let's see. I'm just thinking of a scenario, what I would tell a client. Like, okay, if your husband or wife brought that to you, you could acknowledge the feeling that they're having, right? There's this whole, like, what is it, ACT, something, it's an acronym. Acknowledge the feeling and then kind of reframe it this way, right? So if you didn't want to participate in the negative vibe that I was not like bringing, or like, yeah, let's talk about how loud and crappy things are right now, because that wasn't what I was trying to do. You could say, acknowledge it, and then say, you know what? It's so easy to get overwhelmed by that kind of thing. I do often, but I choose to do this. Let's do it together right now, right? And that does promote a different level of health. Oh, I don't know why it ended.
Because it's an hour.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Okay.
So what was I saying? Oh, somebody said, is a hugging session out of order? Or Bill says, hug, please. So I think that is appropriate. So,
I like that.
Yeah.
There we go. A hugging session. I am for you. Do you believe me?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
I do believe you.
Don't talk. That just made him mad.
Yeah, it did make me mad. But anyway, sorry for the Instagram live feed going down. So, all right, good conversation, you guys. Remember to email any questions to hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. And we like to walk through, well, obviously, we walk through this kind of thing ourselves, and we like to walk through it with other couples too. And that's why we started a coaching option. So you can email us at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com. If you have any questions, we integrate coaching, consulting, and then my over 13 years plus of therapy experience to get you guys where you want to be, where you know you can go, but are having some blocks. And we talk through stuff. Obviously, you just witnessed us talking for the last 45 minutes about something, and I believe that we're in a better place now. So, no, ma'am, you can't play the switch because you lost it yesterday. You're on restrictions, and now we're having new boundaries around it. Go now.
And now I have new boundaries around it.
But anyway, so go to, or email us rather, at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com if you have any more questions on that, and I would be super happy. I'd also get a free 30-minute consult call to discover what coaching is, how it's not therapy, what consulting is, how that's not counseling, but we really break through some big-time stuff to get you to where you want to be. Have a great day, guys. Seth, ego. That's right. Living in spirit and out of ego. Living in spirit, out of ego. So, all right. We love you guys. Thanks. Thanks so much.
Oh, no. What happened?
So everything's dying.
I think your phone died.
Jeez.
All right.
All right.
Love you guys.
Peace out, guys. Bye.